A pinch of story, a spoon of exaggeration, and a whole lot of fun.
Hey guys, it's Jeff Brown over at the house, and I wanted to tell you a story today about one of my most embarrassing moments. And I think it's kind of funny, and I'm sure you've got your own embarrassing moment stories. Maybe you'll put them in the comments after the video. But for me, this happened when I was a young man. I was in the Marines at the time. And I was in Infantry Training School, which the way that works in the Marines is you go to boot camp, and then they give you, I think, a week to go back home, and then you start this Infantry Training School, which for me, I think that lasted a couple months or something. But it's almost like boot camp. I mean, they tell you what to do every minute of the day, and you do what they tell you. And on this particular day, they had us do physical fitness, which is the way most days started. You would do a bunch of calisthenics, and then you'd do a big long run as a platoon, and then you'd come back, you'd hop in the shower, they'd have you get your uniform on, and then you'd sit down for class, or sometimes you do field exercises. And on this day, we did our run, we finished up, but we were headed back, and everybody was going in the showers. But before I could get in the shower, our staff sergeant tells me, "Brown, I need you to go over to this other building and get me some paperwork," So I'm like, "Yes, staff sergeant," because that's what privates say to staff sergeants when you're in the Marines. So I head over to this other building while everybody else is showering, and I wait there, and they finally give me this manila envelope, which I take back over. And as I get back to our squad bay, everybody is already dressed in their uniforms, and they're sitting on the floor in the middle of the squad bay, and our staff sergeant has a chalkboard, and he's writing stuff out on it, and essentially teaching a class. So he looks at me, and I give him the paperwork, and then he tells me, get in the shower and, get your uniform on and get back out here for class. So I run over to my Foot Locker, and I grab my towel and, my soap bag or whatever. And I go in my flip-flops, and I go in there, and I strip down, and, I'm in there taking a shower, which is kind of nice because normally every day you're taking a shower with like 70, 80 guys. And now here I am, on my own. So and nobody's yelling at me to hurry up, so it's pretty luxurious time, so I'm taking the shower. So anyway, I wrap up because you can't take too long. You'll get in trouble, believe me. So I wrap up, and I dry myself off, and I put this towel around my waist and grab my little soap bag and my flip-flops, and I start headed back into the squad bay. And as I walk back into the squad bay, there's these big giant doors that swing open. They'll swing like this. And so I pushed in there, and as I push in, there's like our whole platoon, 75, 80 guys, turn to look at me because I busted in, like this. And they all look at me, and as they look at me, these squad bay doors swing back, and they grab my towel and rip it off of me. And I'm standing there naked in front of like 75, 80 guys. Now, don't get me wrong, because when you're in the Marines, you're naked in front of guys all the time, but normally everybody else is also naked. This is my first experience where I'm the only one naked standing in front of 75 guys that are laughing at me. And the staff sergeant turns around, and he looks at me. He's like, "Brown, what are you doing?" And I go, "Sorry, staff sergeant." He goes, "Go get your uniform on." So I grab my towel real quick and hustle out of there. But that was the worst. And I always think, when people tell me, or, I hear some anecdotal thing about, people saying, "Oh, have you ever had a dream where you found out you ended up being naked in front of your classroom or something?" That actually happened to me. So imagine this anyway. I don't know. So, hey, if you like my story, then maybe you got a most embarrassing moment. Throw it in the comments down there, because I would love to hear about it and hear about what your most embarrassing moments are. And I appreciate you listening to my story today. Thanks a lot for giving me your time. God bless you, and I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll be talking to you soon.
That's it for this one. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and hey, tell a friend.